Take this quiz on pickleball rules for doubles.
If you are unsure if a ball is out of bounds, consider it.
Consider the ball in if you can't make the judgment. If it's out, call it out. But if you're unsure, play the ball. Give your opponent the benefit of the doubt.
The game is played to blank points.
Usually a game is played to 11 points. Occasionally in a tournament they may play to 15 or 21, but in general, 11 points.
You must win by at least blank points.
You must win by at least a margin of 2 points.
In doubles, the score consists of blank numbers.
When you say the score, you will say 3 numbers. Your score, your opponent's score, and the number of the server.
To start the game, and when your team gets possession of the ball, the player on the blank side of the court serves.
Remember, the player on the right side of the court is always the first server.
When you get possession of the ball, it's called a...
If you said side out, you are correct.
True or false? Your serving number will change throughout the course of a game.
That's true. Sometimes you'll be server 1, sometimes you'll be server 2, depending on which side of the court you're on. Remember, the person on the right side becomes server number 1.
True or false? A serve is good if it lands on the kitchen line.
That's false. If the ball lands in the kitchen on a serve or on the kitchen line, it's a fault.
True or false? A serve is out if it lands on a boundary line.
That's false. If the ball lands on a boundary line, it's in play.
True or false? To hit a bounce serve, you may throw the ball up or down to make it bounce higher.
That's false. On a bounce serve, you must just hold the ball from any height and release it. You can't throw it down and you can't throw it up.
True or false? There is a 2-bounce rule in pickleball.
That's true. There is a 2-bounce rule, meaning when I serve the ball to the other team, they have to let it bounce before they can hit it out of the air. When they hit it back to me as the serving team, I have to let it bounce. I can't hit it out of the air. So 2-bounce rule. Receiving team and serving team have to both let the first ball bounce before they can hit a volley.
True or false? If you don't score a point on your serve, you switch sides of the court with your partner and they serve.
That's false. If you score a point, you would switch sides with your partner and continue to serve. If you don't get a point, you do not switch sides and your partner just serves from the side that they're on.
True or false? You cannot enter the kitchen until the ball bounces.
That's false. A lot of beginners have trouble with this rule. But you can go in before the ball bounces. You can stand in the kitchen all day long. You just can't volley a ball in there.
True or false? You must stand between the center line and sideline to serve.
That's true. The sideline, if you draw an imaginary line past the end line, it continues down. You have to stay between that sideline and the center mark.
True or false? If your paddle hand hits the ball, it's illegal.
That's false. Your hand is considered part of the paddle. So as long as it hits below the wrist, that's fine.
True or false? If a serve hits the net, you get another try.
That's false. If the ball goes into the net, that's a fault. And if it hits the net and goes over in a proper box, that's good.
True or false? On a bounce serve, it's legal to swing side arm.
That's true. When you hit a serve off a bounce, you can swing any way you want.
True or false? On a bounce serve, it's legal to bounce the ball on the court.
That's true. You can bounce the ball on the court. You just can't step onto the court until after you strike the ball.
True or false? On a volley, it's legal to touch your paddle in the kitchen to stop from falling in.
That's false. You can't touch the kitchen with your paddle, your hand, or a foot, or even lean on your partner if you're volleying if he's in the kitchen.
True or false? It's legal to hit the ball around the outside of the net post.
That's true. It's called an ATP, around the post.
True or false? If you start the game on the right side of the court, whenever you serve from the left side of the court, your team's score will be odd.
That's true. Remember, if you start on the right side of the court, the score will be 0. You get a point, go to the other side of the court, you'll have 1. You come back to the right side of the court, you'll have 2. Every time you're on the right side, when you started serving on the right side to begin the game, it's always going to be even. Whenever you're on the left side, it will always be odd. Same thing with your partner. If he starts on the left side, his score will always be even because he started serving there. When he comes to the right side, your team's score will always be odd. This is helpful because in the course of the game, a lot of times you'll forget the score. So if I'm on the right side and that's where I started the game serving, and I think the score is 3-1, can't be. So it's either 2-1 or 4-1. So it helps you if you can't figure out the score sometimes. It's a good indicator.
True or false? On a serve hit out of the air, you must swing low to high and contact the ball below your waist.
That's true. Swing low to high, contact the ball below your waist.
True or false? You are allowed to run through the kitchen and volley a ball while standing out of bounds.
That's true. You can run through the kitchen, but just make sure to establish both feet out of the kitchen before you hit the ball.
True or false? As you release a ball to serve, you may spin it.
That's false. It used to be a legal serve to spin it and then hit it, but it just got too dominant, so they outlawed that serve.
True or false? You are not allowed to touch the net.
That's true. You cannot touch the net or the posts.
True or false? You may never play a ball on your opponent's side of the net.
That's false. This is a little known rule. If you're playing on a windy day and the ball comes over to your side with a lot of backspin, it can bounce and go back over to your opponent's side of the court. You have to have the opportunity to hit it. So that's the only time you can reach it across onto the other side of the net and hit that ball.
True or false? It is illegal to contact a ball twice.
That's false. As long as you're making one continuous motion, you can contact the ball twice. You can't hit it here and then hit it here. It has to be a continuous stroke in one direction.
True or false? It is legal to reach into the kitchen to volley a ball.
That's true. As long as you don't step in, you can reach into the kitchen, into the airspace to play that ball.
True or false? Both players always serve in doubles.
That's false. The first time your team serves to start a game, you have an advantage of serving first because remember, you can only score a point when you serve. So since your team gets to serve first, only the person on the right side will be the server. Remember, pickleballers, nobody in pickleball should be labeled a genius. That should be reserved for someone like Robert Einstein. See you next week. Same Pickleball Man time, same Pickleball Man channel.